Welcome everyone. So what we're looking at today is creating a virtual tour 360 using H5P on WordPress. So a virtual tour 360 degrees. It looks really nice. You can add scenes. They have to be 360. We'll go over that. What I will do is I'm gonna full screen this, and this is what we created here. We have a scene on the beach and we have some elements here. So we've got surfboards. You can click on that, it shows you a picture, so you can add pictures. The ocean, we click on the ocean, it takes us into another scene by the coral reefs. It's got some audio. And if you get bored in the ocean, you can add any elements here. When you get bored, you can go back to the beach. You can look around, and we see that my room is up there. Let's go to my room. So this is my room, and it's got a TV. See what's playing on TV. Some lo-fi music, cool. So you can add a video here, and you get bored at your room, you go back to the beach, and got something that says the beach, click last, and it's taken me to another scene, but this one is not 360, it's just an image, and it's got some text here telling us where the beach is, giving us some hints, summary. So it's asking us questions about what we looked at, what we learned, and it's got a single choice question where you can ask questions about the scenes or about anything. Nice. And then you can go back to your scene and you can explore more. You can add as many scenes as you want with as many layers, with scenes inside of scenes inside of scenes inside of scenes. It's a really cool activity. You can tailor it to any type of learning you want to do, any subject. Really cool. Let's take a look at how we can create this with H5P. Let's get started creating a 360 tour using H5P on WordPress. So the first thing you want to do is you want to come down your H5P content and you want to add a new activity. And from the modules, you want to select virtual tour 360. If it's not installed, you click on get so that it's installed, and then you can click on it to start creating the activity. So we'll call it vtour 360. So the first thing that we will need to do is we have to set up our scenes. Right now everything is blank. We've got no scenes. It says click the new scene button to create a new scene. And right here, this button here is where you can create your scenes. So let's create our first scene. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create our scenes and then we will connect them together. That will be easier. So the first option you can have a 360 image, so a 360 degrees image, or a static image that is just a normal image. So for a 360 image, what you want to do is you want to go to Google and you want to type in 360 and then whatever picture you want. So right here I've put 360 picture, and you want these pictures here. This is a 360 picture. These ones are 360 degrees as well, this beach as well. So you want to get 360 degrees. Otherwise, if you put a normal picture, it will look distorted. It will look wrong. So these are 360 degrees. I will use this room picture. As you can see, it's 360 degrees, but it's open. It's kind of flattened. So if you wrap it around, if you make a cylinder out of it, it will be a 360-degree room. Same with the coral reef here, and I've got a 360-degree picture of a beach as well, which I will use. So scene title, I'll call this the beach, and this will be my main scene. This will be my main scene. So I want to add a picture. They call it a scene background, but this is the main picture. And I've got a 360 degrees picture of a beach. Usually these pictures are just a little bit large in size, file size. Scene description, this beach is near where I live. It's just a description that you can see about the scene. The button style of this scene. So if you want to go to this scene from another scene to get here, will you see an arrow or a plus sign? So I want to distinguish between the arrow and a plus sign. So an arrow I will designate as a scene, and a plus sign I will designate for objects like images, videos, text, questions. And you can add an audio track. I don't have an audio track for this scene, but I will add an audio track for another scene. So that's it. This is our first scene, 360-degree image of a beach with a description and a button style that is an arrow. So now I am done. So we look here. This is a 360-degree image of a beach. You can look up, you can look down, and if I click here, it will reset the camera to go back to the start point. If you want to change the start point, you can point it whatever you want to start. I want to start on this couple here, and I click on set as starting position. That way if I move around and click reset camera, it will go back to them. But I want to have it here. I want to set this as my starting point. Also, if you click on the scene description, this beach should say beach is near where I live. So if I want to edit the scene, this is important and it's not so obvious. So I did make a mistake here. It's supposed to say beach, so I want to edit this. The way to edit a scene is you come to this drop down menu down here, and it will show all the scenes you have. Right now we just have one, and you want to go on edit, and I'll come down here and I'll change the each to beach, and I'll click that I'm done. Now if I click here, this beach is near where I live. So let me do this very quickly. I'm gonna not display any toolbars below the content, and I'm going to create this activity. This is got one scene right now, but we're gonna do much more with it. So we're just testing it right now. It will take a minute to load because the images that I have are not very small in file size. So right now this is what it would look if I published it and put it on my website. I've got this and I've got reset. But let's go back in and let's add more scenes. So right now we only got one scene. We've only got one scene here. So what I want to do is I want to add a new scene. Alright, so this scene is, I'll call it the ocean. And I'll add a background to it. And this will be a 360-degree image or scene. I'll open it. I'll add a little description. Beautiful coral reef near the beach. Again, the button style for the new scene, I want it to be an arrow, not a plus. And for this scene, I want to add an audio track. So for an audio track, you can upload a file from your computer, you can use a link, or you can record your own audio. You can just click record and start speaking into your microphone. But I've got an audio track with me, and I'm gonna upload it here. And that's it. I'm done with this scene, so I'll just click on done. And this second scene is a 360-degree scene of a coral reef. This is my second scene. So if I click on the drop down, now I have two scenes. I've got the beach and I've got the ocean. And let me just set I'll set this as the starting position. Nice view. If I click on the description, this is a beautiful coral reef near the beach. And if I click on the audio, you will hear the audio track that I uploaded. Click on that. Now I want to go back to the starting point here. So now I have two scenes. As you can see, I haven't added anything else to the scenes. They're just backgrounds, and they're also not connected to each other. I want to add a third scene. This is the last, well, actually I'll add 4 scenes in total. So the third scene, I'll call this scene my room. I'll add a background here. And I've got a picture of a room, 360 degrees. And I'll say this is my room. I want to keep the arrow. I don't want to add an audio track, and I'm done. And I like this as the starting position. Now I've got a room. So now I've got 3 scenes. I'm gonna add my last scene, and this time I won't have a 360 image, but I'll have just a normal image. So I'll add a scene and I'll put a static image instead. And I want this page to have a back button. So the back button will take you back to the original or the main scene. I'll call this I'll call this the end. Or actually no, I'll call it about the beach. That makes more sense. And for a background, I won't have a 360, but what I will have is I'll have a map of the beach. And I'll say this is the map, a map of the beach. And for the button style, I'll still keep the arrow because this is a separate scene. And I'll show you when we will use the plus sign. No audio track. You can add audio tracks to any scenes you want. And this is what the last scene is. It's just a map, and it's got a back button. And when you click on the back, it goes back, but it shouldn't do that. What it should do is it should go back to the main, but I haven't connected any of these scenes together. So right now it's just going back to the last scene. So if I choose the ocean and then I choose the beach and then go back, it goes back to the ocean. That's not what it's supposed to do. We'll connect the scenes later. So now I've got my beach. I want to add some elements to this beach. For example, I've got a bunch of surfboards right here. You can see that I've got a toolbar up here and it says go to scene, text, image, audio, video, summary, or single choice set. I can add any of these elements into this scene. Any of the elements into the scene. The first one I'll skip because this one just creates a link to another scene. So if you want to create a link between two scenes, you use the go to scene tool. And we'll use this a lot after. So what I want to do is I want to add an image. So I'll add an image into the scene and I'll call it surfboards. And for the label, I want the label that says surfboard. I want it to be under the icon. Display label, show or hide. So show, the label will show by default, or hide. Hide, the label will only show once you hover over the icon. So we'll use the behavior setting. So when you use the behavior setting, it uses the settings under the main settings. And for an image, I will add this image here. It's an image of surfboards. Add the alternative text and the hover text. These are surfboards. And that's it. So using behavioral settings, let me finish here, done. Using behavioral settings, it's using the settings from down here. They're kind of like global settings. They apply to everything. So now I've got an icon, a plus icon that says surfboards in the bottom. And I can move it and I can put it anywhere. And where I will put it is, I will put it, actually let me change the label to be on top, because right now the label is covering the surfboards. It's difficult to see. So if you want to edit an element that you've added to a scene, you click on edit and it takes you back. And with the label settings, I want the label to be on top. So now it says surfboards on top. That way you can see the surfboards. Okay, let's look at what we've created so far. So we've got 4 scenes and we've got 1 element on the main scene here. That's it. Let's update and let's see what we've got. Should load a little bit faster now. Okay, good. So we've got our starting scene. We can go around. We've still got this description, reset camera, and now we've got this element here. And we can click on it and it will just show a picture of surfboards. And if you hover on the picture, it says these are surfboards. That's the hover text that we've put. You can put a paragraph in here. So that's it. But we don't have access to any of the other scenes. We've only got 1 scene. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go back and we're gonna fill the other scene with elements, and then at the end we will connect all of the scenes to each other to make it into a tour. So for this scene, that's the only element I want to add is a picture. I'll go to my room And what I want to do is I want to add a video here. And I'll call this, sorry, I want to add a video, not an image. I want to add a video. And I will call this my TV. Label settings, I don't care if the label is above or below, it's okay. The title, I'll also call it my TV. This is metadata, so it won't show up on the front end. It'll just be in the back for reference purposes. And then I will add a video. I can upload or I can use a link of a video, and I've got a link of a video. I'll insert that. For the visuals, I can add a poster, like a thumbnail to my video. I'm not doing that. I want to fit the video to use all available space. That's okay. That will stretch the video proportionally to fit all the available space. I want to have the video player controls, playback. I want it to autoplay. I don't want it to loop. And I don't want to add a track. So I've added my video here, and I'll say done. Again, the icon is a plus, that way we know it's an element. Actually, I changed my mind. I do want to change the label. I want the label to be on top. Let's try bottom. We've already done top. My TV, and I put the label right over my TV, and I will set my default scene position as right here. Okay, so say I want to view this now. If I go to update, it will just take me back to my main. Scene, and I can only see my main scene because they're not connected to each other. If I want to preview this, what I can do is I can click on my scenes, and there is an option that says set as a starting scene. I can set any of the scenes as a starting scene, and you can see the beach right now. This is grayed out because it's already the main scene. So I want the room to be the main scene. I've changed it. So the room is now my main scene. Let me update and see what that looks like. Okay, so now we see that the room is my main scene, is the scene that shows up first, and I've got here an element. It's a video element that says my TV. I can go around, take a look anywhere. I've got a TV here. I can click on it. And it will just be a video that auto plays. This is a stream that goes on forever. So that plays on my TV now. Again, it's not connected to anything. So I've also got this. This is my room, and I've also got this to recenter the shot. So I want to go back and I want to add more elements to other scenes. So I'll go to this scene, my beach. I'll add most of the elements here. So in this element, what we're going to add a text element. We have already done the image. We've already done the audio. We haven't done the audio, but you can. It's just like the video. We've done the video. So we've got the summary and the single choice set. So first I'll add a text label here. And I'll say, where is it? Or where is this beach? Where is this beach? And I can add text, and you can see here you've got options to format the text. And I've written something very quickly. I said there are 3 hints to tell you where this beach is, and I want to make this list into a numbered list. It just gives hints to where this beach is. That's it. I'll say done. Now I've got this element and it's called where is this beach, and I can put it anywhere. I'll just put it here on the beach. I'll add another element. Now I'm gonna add a summary. So you might have seen this as a separate module on H5P. It's basically a summary. I'll call this beach summary. Call that as well. And for a summary, first you have just an overall or a general prompt or instructions, and then you've got statements. So the first statement is the beach is on a remote island. Second statement, it's on a Hawaiian island, and the third statement, it's not real. So we've got three statements. Which one is true? So we've designated the first one to be true because the first sentence is regarded as true always, and it will be scrambled once it's presented to the user. So that's the first statement, or the first set of statements. Then I'm going to add another set of statements. And these statements, first one, I live here, that's the true statement. I don't live here, this is false. I come here for a holiday is the third statement. And the first one is true. You can add as many statements or sets of statements as you want, but that's it. That's what I want to add. That's for the summary. Just call this a beach summary. And I want to add one more, and that's the single choice set. And I'll call this what should I call this label? I'll call it I'll just call it choose. I really can't think of anything right now. And we have a question, and I'll just put something very simple. How many people stay here or stay on this island? And I'll just put 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the first question. Second question, by plane. Is this beach accessible by plane? Yes. No. And we'll add another. So this really doesn't mean anything, but it's just to show you the single choice set. I'll just put it anywhere. I'll put it here. So this is my scene, and it's got 3 elements. It's got text, it's got summary, and it's got single choice. So what I'm gonna do right now very quickly is I'm gonna make this as my main scene here. And I'm gonna update to see what that looks like on the front end. So it's updated. Okay, so this is what it looks like here. The back button that we put is not there because it's not connected to anything. So first we've got our text element, click on it, and a text element just pops up. Then we've got our summary. So it says, what have we learned about this beach? It's on a remote island. That's correct. And I come here for holidays. That's wrong, but I'll choose anyways. So it says no. I live here. Yes, correct. And I finished both of them and I got one wrong answer. So I got 1 out of 2. And I also got the single choice here. How many people stay on this beach? 1. That's correct. That takes me to the next question. Is this beach accessible by plane? Sometimes, and that's wrong. And it gives me my score, and I can see the answers. I can also retry. And that's it for this slide here. Let's go back into the edit. And let's redesignate our main scene here. Set as starting scene. So this is the starting scene now, the beach. And as you can see here, you have the option to add any of the elements that we have added so far to any scene you want. And you can add as many elements as you want. So this is what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna connect the beach to the ocean scene here. So what I can do is I wanna add an element that will take me to another scene. So I click on this first element and I need to label it first. I'll call this the ocean. You can call it anything you want. And the label, same label options. And it says pick an existing scene to go to or create a new scene. So the existing scene that I want it to go to is to the ocean. Or I can create a new scene and it will be connected to this element. But I set the ocean and I'm done. And now I can move this. And I've got an element called the ocean connecting the beach scene to the ocean scene. Let's just take a look very quickly at what happens on the front end. I think it's important to keep updating, that way it's just not too much information, it doesn't get confusing. So now if I go to the beach and then go to where the ocean is, I get an element that says the ocean. If I click on this, it should take me to the ocean scene. So I click on it and it's taken me to the ocean. I've got my sound here. Very immersive. But as you can see now, I am stuck in this scene. I can't leave this scene. There's nothing I can click on. So what I do need to add now is I need to add a link that could take me from this scene to the beach scene again. So let me edit. And let me go into the ocean scene. And what I'm gonna add is I'm gonna add a go to scene element. And it says go to the beach. That's all I'll call it. And this element will take me to an existing scene that is the beach. And done. And I want to put it up here, kind of near the sun. And let me update very quickly to see what that looks like. So I've got my beach, I go into the ocean, and now I can look in the ocean, and when I want to go back to the beach, I click back on the beach and it takes me back to the beach. Nice. Now I want to connect the room scene. So now I'm still on the beach, so I want to add another go-to scene, and I'll call this my room, and this element will take me into the scene that is called my room, and I'll say done. and I'll put it up here somewhere in the building. That's where my room is. Now if I click on this, it will take me into this scene here, my room. I can watch some TV, and then I need to also get out of this scene if I wanted to, so I'll add another go to, and it says go to the beach. Go to the beach, and this will take me back to the beach, and I'll put it right here through the window. Let's see what that looks like now. You can have nested scenes, so you can have a scene inside of a scene inside of another scene. So I've got my scene now here. I've got my room. I can go to my room. I can watch TV. I can go back to the beach, and from the beach I can go to the ocean, and I can do whatever I want here, and then go back to the beach. So what you can do is, for example, you can go into a room, you can create, so let me go back to edit. You can create another scene. For example, what I can do is I can go to my room and I can create a go to scene element, and I can make it go into a new scene, and I can call this scene my bedroom. I can call this scene my bedroom, and I can put it in here. I can put it in here. This is my bedroom. So it'll be a scene inside of a scene inside of a scene. So if I wanted to get into my bedroom, I start at the beach, then navigate to my room, and then navigate into my bedroom. So you can potentially create a video game out of this if you really had the time and the imagination. But for us, we're pretty much creating a 2-layer scene. The most we're doing is going from one scene to the next and then going back. So let me go back to the main scene. We still have one to connect. Let's go back to the beach, and we're gonna add the last scene here, and we'll just call this beach. And this beach will take us to the about the beach scene, basically the map and the elements. We can say something like this: click last. It'll be the last thing to click. That way you can explore everything. Once you're done, you click here, and then you get some questions, summaries to ask you about what you saw. And this beach, we'll just put it down here on the beach. Let's go back. All right, so this takes us to the beach, and the beach should have the back button, so we don't have to add an element taking us back to the main scene because of this back button. Let's see if that works. Let's update. So we should be done at this point. So I've got my surfboards, I've got my ocean. I can go into my ocean, explore, go back to the beach, look some more. There's my room, go into my room, watch some TV, then go back to the beach, and then I can go to this beach, click last. I've got my elements, my summary, my text, and if I click on this button that says back, should take me back to the beach. Pretty cool. Like I said, you can have more layers, more nesting, a scene within a scene. You can make it as complicated as you like or as simple as you want. To get this, actually, let's go back, sorry. Let's go back and let's just look at the behavioral settings so we don't miss anything. So we've added all the elements, all the scenes. So for behavioral settings, you can add global audio. This global audio can be played on all the scenes. So it's not specific to one scene. Whatever scene you open, you can play this audio. It's a global audio. The quality, the scene rendering quality, I put it as high. If you're having problems loading, it's taking too long, you can change the rendering to lower quality. It will be faster. And these are the label settings. So when you have the plus sign and you get the label under it or over it or beside it, to the right or to the left, you can set a global option here and have all of the elements, like the surfboard, you can have all of the elements use the same position, or you can set the positions by element. We'll leave it as it is. Display labels. So display labels, if unchecked, the label here, surfboards, won't show up until you hover on the plus sign, then the label will show up. I don't want that. I want the labels to show up. And finally, you've got the text overrides. It overrides all of the default text with any text you want. So instead of virtual tour, you can say something else. Instead of saying play audio track, you can just say play audio. Or you can use a translator here to translate this language into another language. That's basically it. I don't think I missed anything. I've covered all of the elements up here. I've covered this. This is very important. You can delete, edit, you can go to the scene, or you can set as a main scene here. And let's update. And one last thing is you can full screen the activity and it looks a lot better. So if you full screen it, then you're going through it and it's all in full screen. It looks a lot better. To get this onto your website, what you need to do is you need to copy the shortcode on the right hand side, copy it, add it to a page or a post. In our case, we're going to add a new post to put our shortcode in. Add a title here. We'll call it Virtual Tour 360. And you want to add a new block, and this block has to be a shortcode block. This is the shortcode block, and we're going to paste our shortcode into it. We're going to publish it, publish, and we're going to say view post to look at good. So this is our activity here. It's a bit smaller. Again, you can full screen and you can do everything that we talked about. Go to my room, watch some TV. You can add as many elements, go back to the beach, look at the surfboards, and go into the ocean if you wanted to, and then get out. Alright, so this is a great learning tool, very interactive, very immersive, especially if you full screen it. I think it would make something great for language learning. You can just have a room with different objects and you have questions about them, or explaining what the objects are, or giving prompts and clues to guide the user through an experience. But you can use it for any other subject as well, not just language learning. So it is standalone, and you can add it into a interactive workbook if you want it. It could be part of a chapter or a book. If you have any questions, any comments, please let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.